Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. As always, I'm Sum.
And I'm Cody, and this is Cody Sum, and we are the duo who does more than each other. So the other day I was, just thinking about how far I've come and you've come since we came out. Which kind of brought up this topic today of how our turn-ons or something that turns us off about men or attracts us to men has changed throughout like our time as gay men.
Yeah. So you're saying your turn-ons have changed?
Yeah. And I think it'd be fun to go through both of our turn-ons and what's changed kind of throughout the years. And maybe even certain things that haven't changed.
Well, what's one thing that hasn't changed? Let's see. One thing for
I
me,
don't like feet.
I would say then that's one thing that's actually changed for me is I actually find that when I am topping that I actually love to kind of play or lick your feet or lick the person's feet. I don't really do it to you so much because I know you don't really care for it. I found that when I do it, I have really enjoyed it.
I will say when I top, I do touch feet now, which I didn't used to.
Yeah.
But licking them will never happen.
I don't know, something about just putting some toes in my mouth.
And I'm dating you, and I feel like the bottom of your feet are always really dirty.
The bottom of my feet are always really dirty. I didn't even actually realize how dirty they got until doing some of the studio content because we usually have to pause to clean my feet.
Yeah. I don't know.
In between like walking around the set barefoot and then we'll start and I'll have to just like wipe them off real quick.
I'm on the same floor. Mine don't get quite as dirty.
Well, no, I'm talking about when I do like studio with like Sean Cody, like they have hardwood floors everywhere. Yeah. And quite often before we restart or start a scene up again or in between breaks, they're like, oh, Sumner, clean your feet. They're dirty. Yeah.
Well, like
so I understand now.
Like the one collab we had, you and Davis's feet were like dirty and mine weren't. Maybe it's just like my skin's so soft, so I don't know.
That's the thing. I feel like my feet just naturally attract dirt. They just attract dirt. Like we walk around that studio and there's just dirt. Well,
so being with you hasn't helped my anti-foot fetish at all.
Well, one thing that hasn't changed for me is long versus short hair on the top of someone's head. I don't know why. I've just never been attracted to guys with long hair. And that's like kind of like this length or longer. Even if you can tell aesthetically, like, yes, that's an attractive person, but something behind the long hair, I just get lost in and it just doesn't do it for me.
I think I'm on that boat with you though, with the long hair. All right. So tell me something that you're turned on by now that you maybe weren't before.
Some of the things that turn me on now that didn't before is being more verbal in bed.
Well, I mean, going off of that, I mean, when someone calls my asshole pussy, that's not ever something I've been super fond of.
That's for both of us.
We just hooked up with someone recently who was calling it a muscle pussy.
Yeah.
But he was more whispering it into our ear and not yelling it, so it wasn't quite as bad for some reason.
Yeah. So let's backtrack on the story a little bit. So what happened was Cody met this boy at an after party and he was just this total dom top, wanted to come back and top both of us. So Cody brought him back. He set that up for us. The guy comes in and just he's total douchebag vibes, like total douchebag, just there to like, hook up, didn't even want to kiss.
Didn't kiss.
Yeah. He was calling it a pussy and
muscle pussy specifically.
Muscle pussy a lot. And we're both like, if we see that in a porn,
it's an ick for us usually.
It just doesn't do it for me. Like I just have never been one to want to call it that or have mine called that. And again, those who like to do that, great. Just something that didn't really ever do it for me, I thought. But in that moment, was really turned on by it. I loved watching him do it to you, and I loved him doing it to me. So I guess it's
more situational at this point. But if you're going to hook up with us, maybe don't use that terminology with us.
Maybe if he had been yelling it like, oh, yeah, you're not going to blah, blah, like it would have been different, but it was like this seductive whisper that kind of was really cool.
He was just mysterious.
It's mysterious.
In general. So it did increase the hotness factor of it for some reason. Continuing on, I would say something that I wasn't quite as attracted to before, which doesn't bother me now, would be body hair. I don't know if it was, I don't really grow body hair, so I don't know if it was weird and I didn't like it because of that. You are actually very hairy, but your hair's blonde and it never really bothered me. And I think that was the gateway into appreciating body hair more.
I'm hairy.
For sure.
But I do trim certain parts of my body. Like I trim my butt and I trim my chest for now, but I like keeping my arms hairy, and I kind of trim certain parts to keep it a little manscaped, but I can't get very hairy, but a lot of it's blonde. I love the fact that you're hairless, but I do also really love body hair. So I think I've kind of brought that to the table of like guys that have a little hair, like chest hair, and some of that can be really nice.
I think I grow a lot of hair where you want to grow hair, which is good.
It depends on who you're asking.
And I think
that depends on who you're asking.
And I think maybe it's just a jealousy thing, kind of like when you don't have something, you hate it because you're jealous you don't have it. It could be that, maybe my therapist will help me out there. I should be able to braid your whole hair.
So I think another thing that we have gotten really into, and I think a lot of it is because of me, is because I've always really been into twunks. And so I've definitely gotten you more into twunks. We've had threesomes with a lot of twunks. Now I feel like you even attract them from time to time before I've even seen them. It used to be like I brought them to the table, and now it's like you're like, oh,
yeah,
cute.
I've always preferred a guy that
was bigger than you,
as big as me or bigger.
Yeah.
Because I always have shifted more towards being the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels weird. A smaller guy kind of being that role for me. I feel like I'm going to crush them.
It did. But now I feel like we've really, like, I've always really enjoyed topping someone who's short. And also I do think it's hot, a short king to come in and top.
So I've been embracing the twunks, especially the Latino twunks on the cruise. I feel like I was collecting them like Pokemon cards.
I know Latino twunks. Just the way they move their
they're
body.
so passionate, and
the way they move their body.
They're just like smacked together. You know?
I'm such an ass man. Like if you have a really great face, great body, but like there's no butt to work with, like that's a real bummer.
I don't need you to have perfect teeth, but like they need to be like white. Like David says on Schitt's Creek, some people just look like they have a dirty mouth. I am totally on board, and when he said that, made that joke, I totally understood. He's like, you can't explain it, but your mouth just looks dirty for some reason.
So if you're liking this video, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. Let us know in the comments things that turn you on, maybe stuff that's changed for you. Love to hear it. And we'll be back next week with another video.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.